I think near the beginning of this series on evangelism, I said 99% of evangelism is prayer. I really mean that, um, more than we know. But I think there are things that we can specifically pray for, both for ourselves and for other people. So here's 3 prayers that you can pray for yourself, and 3 prayers that you can pray for the people that you're talking to. For yourself, you want to pray for boldness. You want to pray for open ears and eyes. You want to pray for penetrating words. So prayer for boldness. We all know it's not easy to speak for Christ in the world that we live in. It takes guts. It takes intestinal fortitude. And I'm reminded of a story of a student, a high school student in California that used to carry his Bible around, big Bible. He'd carry it under his arm and walk through the school. And of course, he'd get picked on, he'd get pushed around a little bit. One time, almost half the football team was walking through the halls, and the captain of the team actually pushed him up against a locker and started really mocking him. They were calling him names, and among other things, called him a wuss. You know, the captain said, "You carry this Bible around. What a wuss! You're such a wuss." And the student gave the perfect response. He held out his Bible, and he said this: "Well, you do it. You do it." Challenged. It was a great challenge, and it turned out, because of that confrontation and some further discussions, that captain of the football team became a Christian, and then he actually led some of his teammates to the Lord as well. It takes guts. We need boldness. But in Acts 4:29, they prayed for boldness. They prayed that God, you would give your servants boldness to speak your word boldly. So we want to fill us with power to speak his word boldly. And then pray for open ears and eyes. We need to pray that God will show us who to speak to and when, and that he will open your eyes to see the opportunities around you, to hear his voice speaking to you, to the whispers of the Holy Spirit telling you to help that person, speak to that person, call that guy, that kind of thing. Make that phone call. Or to speak to one that maybe you don't even know. Now, it goes without saying that God does not want us to speak to every single person that we happen to be in contact with about Christ. But there are those who indeed he really does want us to talk to specifically. Remember Philip in Acts 8:26, where he would just be listening, paying attention to what God was saying to him and the Holy Spirit was saying to him in the moment. So to cultivate that prayer, that posture of looking to see and listening to hear what is the Father doing, like Jesus said in John 5 that his Father is always at work, and I am working too, 5:17, and just listening. Join Jesus in his work. So for boldness, for open ears, I also pray for the right words to say. We can be confident that the Holy Spirit knows exactly what to say to this person, knows exactly what will crack open their heart. He knows each person by name. He knows their address. He knows everything about them. He knows even the number of hairs on their head, right? So we want to trust him to speak to us. Like in John 14:26, it says that he's going to lead us into all truth. He's going to show us things to come. He's going to bring to our mind remembrance of things that he's told us. So everything we need, trust him to do it. For the ones to whom you speak, here are 3 prayers for them. 1, pray that indifference will just break down. Acts 16:14 talks about this lady named Lydia, who the Lord opened her heart to pay attention to what Paul was saying. That's the kind of prayer we need to pray, that God would open their hearts, that they would pay attention to what you're saying. Unless the Holy Spirit draws them, they're not going to move from their spiritual positions. So the Holy Spirit needs to do it. Pray that he would open their hearts. Pray that the soil of their heart would be good, would be prepared. God, he goes before us and he goes before them. And we know that the Holy Spirit's job is to convict the world of sin, righteousness, and judgment to come. So we can be praying that as well. John 16:8. He does this work, this cultivating work, in answer to persevering times of prayer from us. Finally, Pray that they would indeed be liberated from the power of the enemy, from the power of darkness, transferred into God's glorious light. According to Paul in his letter to the Colossians in chapter 1, verse 14, he says that he has delivered us from the domain of darkness and transferred us into the kingdom of his beloved Son, in whom we have redemption, the forgiveness of sins. Man, this is war, and the Holy Spirit is the only one who can transfer anybody from the one camp to another. He's the one who can do it. So let's be in prayer, first for ourselves and then for the people whom we're talking to.